I'm at the end of a roller coaster ride. The track goes up as I bring Meredith back from the dead. Then, it plunges down to meet David Clark and his mother. It climbs again as I capture a demon to help revive my parents. And back down it goes, leading to my arrest for punching Jamal, or maybe for mutilating David Clark, or possibly for killing his mother, or just for the whole chaotic mess. But the roller coaster continues its descent. Officer Jenny gets hurt while protecting me from Crazy Tony. The building I'm hiding in burns down. The policeman assigned to me by Detective Guthrie is murdered. Crazy Tony stabs me. I die. At this point, the roller coaster has gone off the rails and is drilling toward the Earth's core. Only the timely arrival of Meredith and, of all people, my brother, saves me. Guthrie captures Crazy Tony, and I survive my stab wound. The roller coaster is now flying back toward the sky. And then, this happens. I'm sitting on the lake's bed, looking at Mrs. Lake's charred body. One of her arms and several fingers are lying in the hallway to their room, surrounded by a lot of blood. In the kitchen, Mr. Lake's face is submerged in a pool of even more blood. Somewhere, there's a horrible cake that will probably be thrown out. Don't look at her, Lily. Just look at me, Pasture tells me, still hanging from the crawl space where he got caught on a nail or something. But I can't stop looking at Mrs. Lake. Her skin is a mix of black flakes and red blisters. She was a good person, as was Mr. Lake. Are their souls being swept away to a pleasant place like my parents were? Or are they trapped in these bodies, like Roger was? Did she suffer? Lily, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say this isn't my fault. That wasn't what I was going to say. He's right not to say that. Of course, it's my fault. I summoned Fur. That one act is the root cause of all this. I summoned a demon, and it killed a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't have done what I did if you hadn't killed my parents. Your parents' deaths were a terrible tragedy. If I had known they were going to die, I would have done everything in my power to stop you from using Jophile's judgment. He sighs. I wish I could take that moment back for you, along with so many others, but you are the knife and you cut your own path. I watch as a piece of Mrs. Lake's skin peels off from a light breeze through the open door and flutters like a dead leaf. I turn away so it doesn't float into my eyes or mouth. Instead, I look at Pasture hanging from the ceiling hole. You made me this way. Pasture looks back at me with his plastic eyes. I did, and I have done it 1,000 times before. With each new knife, I've taken on the responsibility to guide them. But something went wrong last time when we gave you the choice to become the new knife and your soul accepted. We changed the word in the smallest way possible, but the ramifications were beyond what we anticipated. I don't know what that means. Ramification sounds like something to do with rams and multiplication. You know, sheep math. Don't tell me sheep don't know numbers. I've seen a video of a horse counting with its hoof, and sheep are much smarter than horses because they don't actually let anyone ride them. It means that despite only making the slightest change to the paths of two individuals, you and Roger, the outcomes of a multitude of other lives were affected. For one thing, the soul is not so easily cleansed. So Roger retained a lot of the struggles and depression he felt as the original knife. He remained reclusive, something of an outcast from social norms, and he harbored a resentment toward you for having the gift he once had, although he no longer remembered having it. It had left marks on his soul, as all things do. And somewhere deep down, he knew what you had once belonged to him, and he resented you for it. Okay, so now the question nobody asked for, why my brother was always mean to me, has been answered. I wipe my eyes with my sleeve. I don't care about having Roger's feelings explained to me right now, not with two corpses rotting in the house. He continues, other lives changed, too, insignificantly for the most part, but for at least one, a young single father studying to become a behavioral therapist. That change combined with the interference from Samuel led to two totem bearers coming into contact with each other, which ended in tragedy. Felix Clay was not meant to be a totem bearer or a mentalist. If Roger had kept the gift, Felix never would have. Meredith, I whisper. I need to find her. Where did Fur hide her? I look around the room. Maybe she's in that box in the crawl space I never opened. She's not in the box, Lily, Pasture says in a stern tone. I don't know where she is. It's actually rather troubling. And I suspect that Fur has hidden her along with some other magic that is concealing her location from us, similar to how he kept us apart. I need to find her. I jump to my feet, almost stepping on a piece of Mrs. Lake's severed arm. The carpeting squishes under my shoes, wet with blood. No! Pasture shouts. His voice blooms in my head, and I sit back down without thinking about it. When he speaks again, it's back in his soft tone. We need to deal with this, with what's been done here. Meredith Patterson, wherever she may be, is not in danger. You, on the other hand, are sitting in front of the burnt corpse of your foster mother with your foster father's body bleeding out at the kitchen table. He doesn't talk sharply at me unless things are serious. I know they are, but I don't know what to do. What do I do? Call Detective Andrew Guthrie. The phone is downstairs in the living room. I have to dance around Mrs. Lake's body to get out. I don't mean dance like I'm swinging my hips to an imagined song over the corpse of my foster mother, I just mean I tiptoe around it so I don't get any of her on me. I'm halfway down the hall before he calls me back and makes me pull him down from the splinter he's caught on and bring him with me. We are doing this together, he says. No more going alone. Okay. Okay. I hope they let me keep him when I'm in prison. Maybe he can sit with me when I'm in the electric chair. You're not going to be sent to the electric chair, Pasture assures me. Was I thinking out loud again? I ask. I've been having some trouble with that lately. He doesn't answer. He just recites a phone number. It's not 911. We're not calling for the general police. We're calling Guthrie specifically. The phone rings twice before someone picks up. It's a woman's voice, not Guthrie. Emergency veterinary clinic. How can I help you? Emergency vet clinic. Did I dial the wrong number? Is Detective Andrew Guthrie there? I stutter. There's a pause. I'm sorry. Oh, I am sorry. I'm looking for a policeman. Gumby Gumpray. Andrew Guthrie. He's a detective. I mean, a detective. He works for the police. I'm calling to speak to him. We both go silent for a moment. Is he there? Please, just a moment. I hear her talking to someone else. She says Guthrie's name. There's another voice calling Guthrie over what sounds like a school PE system. Why do PE teachers get their own radio? It's a PA system, Lily, Pasture says. PE, pa, pi, po, pu. Whatever. P uses every vowel for something. It's all so confusing. There's a noise over the phone. Someone picking it up on the other end. This is Guthrie. I hear Guthrie's voice. He sounds annoyed. He always sounds annoyed to me, but he sounds annoyed even though he doesn't know it's me yet, which means he's probably going to get even more annoyed when he does. I can't blame him, I annoy myself sometimes. Who's calling? Detective Guthrie, I squeak into the phone. It's Lily. I need your help. Lily, how did you know where I... Oh wait. He sighs. Here comes the even more annoyed voice. Let me guess. Angels, right? What is it this time? I'm rather busy at the moment. This is why I like Guthrie. He gets it. Pasture was right to have me call him. He'll know what to do. What do you mean, I'll know what to do? Guthrie asks. His voice gets even more annoyed. We're at like DEFCON 5 annoyance. If I get him even more annoyed, he's going to blow up. But I have to do it. I have to really annoy him because there are dead people in this house. What happened now? You just got out of the hospital, didn't you? Where are you? I look through the doorway where Mr. Lake lies slumped over the table beside a badly made cake. There's blood dripping off the edge of the table. I'm at the lakes, and, so, they're both dead, and, what? The phone makes my eardrums throb. I have to hold it away from my head. I miss the first part of what he says next because of it. Thankfully, just the first few words are at glass-shattering levels. I bring the phone back to my ear carefully. Are you safe? Is there someone else in the house? Look, find a place to hide. Police will be on their way. Don't panic. Just hide. I don't want the police here. I want Guthrie. What about you? I ask him. He turns gruff. Do what I said, Lily. Get off the phone. Hang up. He hangs up on his end. Well, now the police are coming. Not Guthrie, like I hoped. Someone else. Not Officer Jenny, because she's still recovering from her bad eye injury. Not Frank, whatever his name was, because he's dead. It could be Officer Grant. He's always nice to me. He has a big, funny mustache and orange hair like Jamal's friend Greg. Sometimes he gives me a bag of pretzels from the vending machine. I hope it's Officer Grant. Somewhere deep in my head, I hear whispering. It doesn't sound like my thoughts because I'm having my own thoughts right now, and this is interrupting them. The whispers tell me what Guthrie did not. He's at the animal hospital, meeting with a vet about an examination of the dog beast that they killed the night they found me. That's Mrs. Donovan. They've cut her open and looked through her insides. I know this because Guthrie didn't tell me. I know this because Rosiel is inside me, telling me instead. Pasture speaks. Lily, do as Guthrie said. Let's go up to your bedroom, and you can lock yourself in there until the authorities arrive. In the meantime, we've got to get Rosiel out of your head. I go up to my bedroom and lock myself in. The closet is open, and I can see the remains of Fur's egg prison smashed on the floor just outside the top I'd drawn on. The egg is all black and green and smells really nasty. I shut the closet door to keep the smell inside, but it's already out, drifting about my bedroom. So, I open one of the windows and sit beside it and take big whiffs of fresh air. Oh, thank you, Mother Nature. All right, Pasture says, laying on the floor beside me. I want you to close your eyes. I close my eyes. Okay, I hear him say gently. I want you to imagine you're back in that movie theater you went to in the Vale. I'm standing in a forest. The trees are all pine trees. They're evenly spaced out like someone planted them there. The ground is mossy and covered with yellow and blue flowers. They sway back and forth even though there's no wind. In front of me, the ground rises steeper and steeper like it's going up a mountain. There's a cave in the side of it. The trees around the cave stick out like giant toothpicks, as if the forest used to be flat there and the cave grew up out of it. Do you see the movie screen? I hear Pasture. I look down, and there's a frog on the mossy ground. It's looking up at me with dark eyes. Why do frogs have weird pupils? Excuse me? Pasture says from the frog's mouth. What's this about frogs? I can't help but giggle at his voice coming out of a little green frog. You're a frog, Lily, the frog says sternly. You're supposed to be thinking of a movie theater. Well, I don't know what to tell you, frog sir, but my mind has imagined the woods instead, with a frog and a cave. There's a cave. The frog blinks. He looks directly at the cave. Surely, he sees it. No. Well, I'm imagining the frog. Pasture isn't actually seeing what's in my head. Go to the cave. I'm already at the cave, I say. I do move closer, though. It's dark inside. As I get closer, though, I see that it's not that dark. It's just that someone has built a wall just past the entrance, made out of some sort of black rock. It's actually kind of shiny. Maybe it's volcanic rock. That's what lava turns into. I've always wanted to have a piece of volcano rock. I wonder if I could break off a chunk of it. Oh, wait. I'm just imagining it. I keep forgetting. I need you to go into the cave, the frog says. He's still right beside me. He's staring off into space at the moment, probably because he's kind of blind. I can't believe I imagined Pasture as a blind frog. If anything, I'd think he'd be a frog with 1,000 eyes. I walk toward the cave. The black rock wall looms over me. Loom means that it's really tall and makes me feel really small. There's also a thing called a loom. I saw one once when we went to Plymouth. There was a lady using this weird device that makes giant cats' cradles, and she calls it a loom. I assume because it was so big and it made her feel small. For being in my imagination, everything here is pretty clean and clear looking. Usually, when I imagine stuff, it's kind of vague. Like a red circle is an apple, or a yellow circle is the sun, or a different kind of apple. I thump into the black wall. I actually feel it on my nose and open my eyes. I'm still sitting in the corner of the room. The feeling on my nose is gone. There is no wall. Well, okay. There are 4 walls, but they aren't the one blocking the cave in my imagination. What is it? Pasture asks. Why did you stop? There's a wall in my head. Fur must have put it there. Rosiel has to be in that cave. I really hope it doesn't get out that there's a cave inside my head. All the other kids in jail will make fun of me. They'll call me Lily Empty Head or something more clever. I can't think of a clever mean name right now. Probably because there's a cave inside my head where a brain should be. Other kids, though, they're really good at coming up with mean names. You'd think they spend all their off time coming up with insults. The police will be here very soon, Pasture tells me. I know. I've already heard them coming, yelling at the front door, kicking it in. I didn't say anything because I was trying to focus. It wasn't until the yelling stopped that I realized it hadn't happened yet. I'd almost forgotten what it was like to sense something before it actually happened. It's really confusing sometimes. Once they get here, we won't be able to do this until you're alone again. That might not be for a while. And it's important we get Rosiel out. Can you focus? I shrug at him. You know me. I'm all about focus. At least when I'm painting. I wish I was painting. I probably shouldn't even think about wishes, though, considering that Spurfer is bread and butter and it hasn't been that long since he got Fomadid back to hell. You can never be too careful, especially considering. Lily, Pasture interrupts. Close your eyes. We return to the cave in my brain. The black wall still fills the entrance. I approach it, feel it with my hands. I can literally feel the smooth surface on my palms even though I'm sitting here with my hands in my lap. I'm pretty sure my legs didn't turn into volcanic rock. I'm actually feeling an imaginary thing in my head. It's crazy. Pasture is now a deer. He looks pretty soft. There are about a dozen eyes covering his head, all looking in different directions. I have a weird imagination sometimes. All right, he says from the deer's mouth. His many eyes blink. Do you remember what you did to Fur earlier when you used your hands and caused the cuts to open on him? They didn't open on him, they opened on Mrs. Lake. And yes, I can still see the awfulness of it behind my eyelids, which is weird because my eyes are closed and I'm already imagining something else. How am I doing this? How can I remember seeing someone's body get shredded by my hands gesturing at the air while also imagining a cave in a wall and this weird-ass deer? I remember, I sigh. You weren't supposed to learn of that ability until you matured, he tells me while chewing on a piece of bark he peeled off of one of the trees sticking out of the mountainside. It's extremely dangerous. You tore open the veil. You made those gestures. Each digit, each finger of your hands, sliced the veil as fine as a strand of your hair, invisible to the naked eye. Aren't all eyes naked? Do people dress up their eyes? I guess glasses are like eyeball dress up. Hell, my mom used to put makeup on her eyes. Not the actual eye itself, that would hurt. But the lids. Do eyelids count as part of the eye? What are you saying? I ask. That I can cut through reality. Now is not the time to get into the logistics, but yes. Basically, you are the knife that cuts the veil after all. But why? The Pasture leans down, rips up some of the moss, and starts to chew it instead of the tree bark. Hungry little guy, I guess. Later, he says, right now, do the same thing, but don't actually do it in real life because you could end up slicing off your own legs or falling through the floor or something. Just imagine you're doing it. I hold up my hands. They are imaginary hands. Gosh, it's weird saying that. I hold up my imaginary hands in my imaginary forest and spread my fingers apart. Each finger can slice through reality. Who? That's crazy. Why would they give me this? What could this possibly do for me? Is it meant to be used as a weapon or something else? Lily, Pasture says, do it. I slice my imaginary fingers at the imaginary rock wall blocking the imaginary cave entrance. Nothing happened, I tell the deer. The deer blinks half its eyes. Try pushing on the wall. I reach out with my hands. I wonder if I'll have to register them as lethal weapons, like this guy in a movie my dad let me watch with him once. It was called Game of Death. They probably would have called it Lethal Weapons, but I think there was already a movie with that name. The wall doesn't move at first. I can feel it against my hands in real life, but then there's a grinding sound like someone dragging a boulder down the sidewalk, and I feel the rock move. A large chunk of it slides inward and pops out the other side with a noisy clatter. As it does, the rest of the wall rumbles and several other broken pieces shift, some falling down on my outstretched arms, others just catching in a nook. And then my head explodes in a rainbow of light. Not really physically. I'm not dead, obviously, I'm writing this in my journal after all. But there's a whole rainbow of colors that come pouring out of the hole in the wall. And since my head is right there looking in, it's all I can see. There are some shades of colors I can't even describe. You want to know if they're like green or blue or red, but I'm telling you, they are indescribable. I open my eyes just as the first police officer comes into my room. I see him for just a second, standing in the doorway, one hand on the knob, the other on his gun. He's looking directly at me. I'm looking at him. And then the other colors pour out of my eyes like the beam of a giant flashlight. I can't see anything but all these colors. Red. I see lots of red. Not like bloody red, but like someone plugged a red light bulb into the light fixture, and the entire room is bathed in redness. The policeman is also red. And I can see an outline through his clothes of items on him like handcuffs and some small metal box and a badge on his chest. Underneath all that, I can see his skeleton. I see every bone in his body. It's overlapping his clothes and his handcuffs and his face, which looks absolutely stunned by all this. I wonder if he sees my skeleton, too. And then the light is gone, and the policeman is standing there in the doorway, bewildered, eyes staring forward, one hand on the knob, the other on his gun, but the gun drops from his hand and clatters to the floor. What the F? He says, and then he stumbles forward. He drops to his knees. Behind him in the hallway is another police person. They're looking down toward the Lake's bedroom. I suspect they can see Mrs. Lake's charred remains since I forgot to shut the door on my way out. They turn when their partner stumbles. Kelvin, they say. It's a lady cop, but I couldn't tell at first because her voice is really deep, almost as deep as Guthrie's. It must be nice to have a deep, authority-sounding voice. My voice sounds all squeaky like a mouse, and nobody takes me seriously, probably in part because of it, and in part because I'm having to tell people about the future which nobody thinks I can see. Cal, are you okay? She steps into the room, pointing her gun at me for a moment before lowering it. I thought she might shoot me, but my luck holds out. I can't see, says Officer Calvin. He puts his hand on the floor and feels around. Everything is red. I can't see. He starts to panic, scrabbling around, clutching the lady officer's pant leg. She looks at me with accusing eyes. She thinks I did this. I guess technically she's right. What happened? She shouts. Her gun points at me again. What did you do? I put my hands up in the air, hoping she doesn't think I have a weapon on me, realizing my hands are actually weapons. So, I guess I do have weapons on me. So, please, lady cop, don't kill me for holding them up. I didn't do anything. I lie because I know that if I try to explain the whole angel in my brain cave punching a rainbow hole out of my eyeballs to her, the next visit to my brain cave might be to pry a bullet out of my meatball. She grabs her little walkie-talkie and presses the button on it. 10:44, we need assistance. Officer down. Officer Calvin finds the door frame and pulls himself back up to his feet. He stands there holding the wall, staring at nothing in particular. His eyes look bloodshot, like he didn't get that much sleep last night. I didn't catch a good look at them before Rosiel shot out of my eyes, so it could very well be that they were like that to begin with, but I kind of doubt it. Suddenly, he turns and looks directly at me. He doesn't blink. His eyes themselves, the colored part of his eyes, are tinged red, too. She's lying, he says. He doesn't sound scared or rattled at all. I wasn't expecting to be accused of lying. Excuse me. He licks his lips and then his head like he's listening to a radio. There is no radio. There's not even sound coming from over his walkie-talkie. An angel, he says to nobody in particular. That's what she was freeing. An angel. No. Do you hear that? He turns in the direction of his partner. Does he see her now? What's that voice? I can hear you, Patty. I'm right here, Cal. Officer Patty says. She reaches out and offers him her hand. No, he says. I hear your thoughts about stealing. You borrowed your sister's car back in high school. Officer Patty lowers her gun. Thank goodness. What are you talking about? She looks at her partner. How do you even know about that? He continues, his red eyes looking through her. You scratched it trying to park. Covered it up with paint that didn't match. She noticed but never knew what happened. Why are you thinking about this? I'm not. This was unfortunate, Pasture remarks. Understatement of the year right here, folks. Runner-up is the nurse at the hospital telling me, you won't feel a thing. Talk about liars. Lady, I felt everything. Where's Rosiel? I ask him without saying the words aloud. At least I hope I don't say them aloud. I've been having some trouble with that lately. Last thing I need is both officers looking at me even more mental. Is he inside that Officer Calvin's meatball? Rosiel is on his way here, back to us, Pasture says. The gift of knowing is temporary. The blindness, sadly, is not. Rosiel was incorporeal. He had to be in order to be in your mind like that. But you're not meant to see us in that way. It's why we take on physical manifestations when we traverse the veil or your plane. I take one of my hands that I'm still holding up, reaching for the sky as they do in cowboy movies, and wave it over my head. Whoosh! Officer Patty frowns at me. I put my hand back up. The next 10 minutes are spent with Officer Calvin telling one secret after another. He sits there spouting them out like a garden hose someone forgot to turn off. Some of them belong to me, like how I almost died in unicorn pajamas. Others belong to Officer Patty. Both police people don't know what to make of it, and lots of shouting and arguing happens as they cope with him suddenly knowing things she didn't want anyone to know. Me, on the other hand, I don't really care because half the stuff he tells she doesn't even believe anyway, and the other half would only be embarrassing if someone my age ever found out. Eventually, Officer Patty guides her partner to my bed and has him sit down while she goes to check the master bedroom, where she finds Mrs. Lake and then goes to the bathroom and baths. Officer Calvin tells me she's barfing. I guess she didn't want us to know that. 15 minutes later, emergency ambulance people arrive to treat Officer Calvin. More police show up. They start searching the rest of the house. They spend a lot of time in the master bedroom. Someone comes upstairs with a ladder and goes into the crawl space. They come back out with a special box that does not have Meredith in it, according to Pasture. I see them look inside and then look at each other with concern. Officer Calvin starts telling me and the ambulance people what's in the box, but Pasture makes me cover my ears so I don't hear it. It's not fair. I'm 11 years old. I know how babies are made. My parents used to have a picture book called How Babies Are Made with construction paper, doggies and bees and people. But if Pasture says I shouldn't hear what's in the box, I'm not going to argue with him about it. I've come to accept that he has my best interest in mind. Hey there, kids, it's me, Mr. Creepy Pasture, and I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for watching tonight's video or for listening to tonight's episode of the podcast. It's a brand new year, which means a brand new time for content. We're doing our best to bring you the newest things. I know in 2024 I had released fewer videos than I ever had any year in the last 14 years, but hey, as things start to piece themselves back together, so do I. So, I will be seeing you guys a bit more in this year, I promise you. And as always, I want to give a very big thank you to everybody who supports me over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Mr. Creepypasta. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you guys so much for being supporters. That goes for everybody who was down in the description, as well as Acid System, All Arms the Rat, Blake Rattler, Brandon Mendoza, Rena Crow, Brimstone Pandemonium, Caluna, Shane Smoker Deer, Chicago Hitman, Corey Genchin, Cronut 508, Crusader Choco, Curse Pox, Primark, Dakota Best, Daigle Polson, Dante Concave, Dina Kraus, Ellie Hutmeyer, Enchanted Buns, Esther Mine, Jenna Holly, Hade's Nephew, Himbo Jerry, Our Minute Seconds Time, Jay Keys, Jenny's Pet, Jordan Humble, King Crab, Mr. Marcus Blitz, Old Penguin, Peaceful Buddha, Psycho Male, Red Shadow Cat, Remember the Sun, The Rinku Star, Salty Surprise, Salmone, Salute, Simba's Bloody Mojo, Sky Harbor, Smiley the Psychotic, Sully Man, Talisu, the Chavez Brothers. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching and sweet dreams.